McElrath, but after 2 seasons and almost 2 years, you should know that by now. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. Great show for you tonight. You're probably dying to know what I think about Will Smith and the Oscars. Shut up. Everyone else has already said anything. He said what he said. He said what he said. Me personally, I don't care. I forgot the Oscars were a thing. That's just me. That's just me. We have a really cool top 10 list that I think is really cool. And if you don't think it's cool, then cry about it, because I still think it's cool. And it is top 10 things you probably shouldn't do on Easter dinner, since Easter is coming up in 2 weeks, which will actually be 1 by the time we drop this, but who's counting? So we'll go ahead and start with number 10, show up on time. You do not show up on time to any family function whatsoever if you're of the melanated persuasion. Number 9, sit at the dominoes table if you can't play. If you don't know how to play, that is not the time to do it. Number 8, sit at the spades table if, again, you don't know how to play. That's not the time to do it. Number 7, not use a coaster on Granny's table. Don't do that. Do not do that. Number 6, be in the kitchen and you're underneath cooking age. That is the biggest, fastest way to catch hands. Get out of her kitchen. Number 5, unplugging Granny's deep fryer to charge your phone. You're horrible if you do that. Number 4, get in between 2 uncles that's been beefing since 1984 over a game of dice. Number 3, parking in Granddad's spot. Don't park that raggedy car in Granddad's spot. Have some respect. Number 2, drinking all that pop when there's plenty of water in the cooler. The kids' cooler. Yes, there was a kids' cooler. It was the most annoying thing ever. And numero uno is asking who made the potato salad. That is the fastest way to cause any family drama whatsoever. Ask me how I know. Been there, done that. So on tonight's show, we got Josh Weston, entrepreneur, who has some great, fantastic projects in the works, including a clothing line and a documentary about our rival city of Springfield. Musician ShyFye Tha Don, she's absolutely amazing. More about that later. And we have nothing in particular, Cabinet of Curiosities. Austin, that was by far the best interview I have ever had. It's a lot of stuff to process. Okay, let us plug some stuff, because that's what we do here. On the 3rd or 4th Saturday of the month, you can find the Dayton music scene right here on this network, right here. Their next show will be April 23rd. April 23rd will be their next taping. Also on the 23rd, you'll find our friends who were on this show last season. You'll find The Social Cue and Dreadful Rumor at Blind Bob's at 9 o'clock, 430 East 5th Street, downtown Dayton. You will find them there. Great band, by the way. And on June 3rd, ShyFye Tha Don will be performing at Yellow Cab, along with Candy Coated Dreams and Lavender Honey. I believe that is Pride Day, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section. Please do not drag me to hell for it. I am human, so are you. Also, I met a incredible individual earlier, actually during a commercial break. Slumberjacks Improv of Columbus, Ohio. Please check them out. For the love of God, please check them out. They do a lot of improv stuff. Believe it or not, they do have a show. I think it's amazing. I'm going to actually check it out as soon as I'm done with this. You can find them on Instagram and Facebook at Slumberjacks for updates. They're doing a show tonight. They will update you guys on that when they do it. And you can also find them on YouTube as Slumberjacks Improv. So check that out. Do check that out. It's not very often I run into people that do the same thing I do. It's a very lonely feel out here. So, with that being said, when we come back from the commercial break, Austin from nowhere in particular, Cabinet of Curiosities, will be here, right there. As I'm dressed like a giant bottle of Lavender Fabuloso, I'm going to go regret everything and every decision I made leading up to this suit in the mirror, and we'll be right back.
You're really good at this.
I try. I do my best. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Ariel Winter. If you're anything like me, your pets are not only your best friends, they're part of your family. American Humane, which has been rescuing animals like Cleo here for more than 100 years, has life-saving tips that can make a big difference before, during, and after disasters such as hurricanes, tornadoes, floods, or wildfires. So when disaster strikes, you want to be prepared to protect them. Be sure to microchip or tag your pets. Never leave them behind in a major crisis, and be sure to have an emergency kit ready in your home at all times with a pet crate or carrier, leash, blanket, ID, and medications, their water bowl, and 7 to 10 days worth of food. To find out how to protect your entire family during a disaster and help our best friends in their worst times, please visit AmericanHumane.org.
Back from the commercial break, ladies and gentlemen. My first guest tonight on the Night Run, he does so many things that I have no idea how to keep track of it, so he must be very good at his job. He is a very big person that is profound in social media. My guest tonight is Austin from Nowhere in Particular Brewery. What the hell are you doing? Oh, man.
Come on, come out on late night. Let's do this.
Send it. Absolutely send it.
What's going on, man?
What's going on? By all means,
Right here?
make yourself
Cool.
comfortable. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me on.
That was probably the greatest damn entrance in the history of late night television.
I try to make an entrance. I also give the people good entrances every now and then.
Nice. I like you already. So tell us a little bit about yourself. You're native Daytonian, or where are you from?
I grew up on a pig farm in Wilmington, Ohio. Right now, I bartend at Nowhere in Particular Cabinet of Curiosities. I do their social media. I work for a couple of their sister companies, breweries, and I do the social media and branding marketing for the Cookieologist.
So what got you into such a niche market of doing all these cool things that really doesn't fit a mold? Because you don't seem like the kind of guy that conforms to society's mold. You feel like no, I'm going to do it my own way. You're an abstract guy. That's what I want to call you.
COVID-19, man. I lost my job. I had to find a way to work from home. So started doing I have a creative writing degree, started doing some social media stuff on the side, and it's been working out. People enjoy some of my posts.
So creative writing, do you actually enjoy it, or do you still enjoy it now versus then, or have you grown out of it? Do you still indulge in it?
I still indulge in it some. Definitely haven't grown out of it. It's more like it's just harder to find time for, because I like doing stand-up comedy. I like writing little short stories and poetry. Haven't done much poetry lately, though, sadly.
You're a very talented guy.
Thank you. You are, too.
I try. We fake it until we make it around here. So Nowhere in Particular Brewery, how did this come up?
Okay, so like back in 2016, they were brewing out Toxic Brew Company, and they asked me to serve beer with them over the weekend at this music festival. We all did tabs of acid, and I was the only one that could continue serving beer for the rest of the weekend, and they're like, we gotta have this guy a part of our team. He can handle his stuff.
That is the greatest success story I have ever heard in 24 years.
I'm happy.
That is one hell of a story. Kids, if you can handle your acid, damn it, you can do anything. But
the brewery is a weird acid trip if you haven't been out there. It all fits.
It all fits. So, what does your typical day look like since you're managing all this stuff? You're a better man than me, because half the time I don't even know what I'm doing, and we're 5 minutes into the day. So how do you keep up with all this? What's your secret?
Drink lots of coffee. Like, I have some Reza's coffee over there right now. The key is drink local Dayton coffee. And,
I need to work on that.
And my typical day, just I wake up, I try to make sure I have all my ducks in a row. I know what's happening in Gahanna, what's happening in Kettering, what's happening in Dayton. and what I need to talk about to get the people to stop by one of the community-oriented businesses that I run social media for.
So do you get a rush from keeping up with all this stuff? Does it give you like an adrenaline rush or one of those hell yeah kind of moments?
At 100%, absolutely.
Like organized chaos, just
Yeah.
pure chaos?
That's like where I'm best, organized chaos. And it's always something new. Like the other day, found out it was National Beer Day after I made a post about a beer. First comment, someone's like, it's National Beer Day today. And I was like, good, because I still have 2 more beer posts to go. Now I know.
I think we're set. So what's your favorite thing to do out of all these ventures you're involved in?
Naming cookies is really fun. Like getting out there, helping Isaiah with some new recipes and cookies. And then the Nowhere in Particular social media is absolutely some of the wildest stuff. Myself and my partner Morgan, we do weird Survivor videos for that. I get to organize some community-based vendors coming out on the first and last Saturdays of the month to have a market. There's bands, there's beer collabs. I get closer with the community through Nowhere in Particular very well. So I enjoy it's between doing some cookie work and Nowhere in Particular for me.
Oh, the cookies that involve weed, which is the story you told me before we came back from commercial. You know?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, man, you give me such laid-back guy, but I can't picture you being stressed out ever. I really can't.
Oh,
I
car
envy
ride
you.
here, man. Car ride here.
Oh, man. So between the entrance and that's a lot to process. That was a great entrance. That was absolutely magnificent. You ever thought about trying hosting a late night talk show? Because I feel like you have the stuff to do it. You really do.
Oh, we could do like a co-host together. I'd rather do it with you, or I don't want to be the center of attention all the time. That'd be weird.
Aren't we all? If you're not weird, you're not cool. If you're not cool, then you have no place here.
Yeah, I vibe with that.
So, you come from a pig farm.
Okay.
And now here you are being this massive guy overlord over social media, if you will. That's one hell of a transition, if you ask me.
I'm very adaptable.
I can see that.
I like to fit where I sit, wherever that be at the time.
That is a good answer. That's a very good answer. So in regards to naming cookies, where does that inspiration come from? Do you just pull it out of thin air? Do you go around looking for stuff?
I mean, stealing rap CDs from my older brothers and having that, pop culture references, that kind of stuff. Like, my favorite band of all time is Outkast. Those guys, like, I've seen over 150 shows, and they're the best show I've ever seen. And Isaiah loves Outkast, and when we're naming cookies, it's just real, like, Outkast, a derivative of that is A Tribe Called Quest, and you just start going down the line, and you're making a nice Valentine's Day cookie called The Love Below. One of the best Outkast albums. Prototype's a life-changing song.
That basically cemented the reason why I like you, because I'm a huge Outkast fan myself.
Yeah, Big Boy and Andre 3 Stacks know what they're doing.
I agree. I agree. Stealing rap, you just dated yourself with stealing rap CDs, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I know I did. I'm okay with that.
So I take it you're probably older than me.
I am. I'm getting ready to turn 30 in a couple weeks.
Are you terrified? Some people are. Some people are.
A lot of my friends have turned 30 before me, and I'm actually not terrified at all. I don't see what the big deal is. Like, I'm still going out and doing the things that I want to do, and I don't feel like I've gotten any older necessarily. I do have to stretch more, but that's not really a bad thing. When I was playing high school sports, stretching is a part of doing sports and activities, so it's never really bothered me.
Yeah, because most people, when they hit that very magical number, depending on who you ask, they either go off the deep end, they start balding, they buy a yellow Corvette, they buy a house that they can't afford somewhere, probably in Malibu, and they go off the deep end. Some people still maintain their sanity. It all depends on who you ask.
I mean, if you if I take a picture and some briefs and post it online, is that losing my sanity? 'Cause
No, that's
all I
promoting your
follow.
OnlyFans.
Yeah, thank you. I'm happy you understand. That's the whole goal for the 30th.
That's called marketing. That is called marketing. We call it something else, but that's called
Yeah.
marketing. So do you have any big projects in the works?
I'm really trying to get a nice Devil Win, nowhere in particular collab. Devil Win's a brewery out in Xenia. Doug is the brewer there. I disc golf with Doug, and that's a collab that would really mean a lot to me. Getting like two sides of Dayton coming together, making a beer together. I'm trying to help Waste Free Dayton. They're doing a Earth Day pickup, so I'm trying to use my resources to have people reach out to people and make sure that people show up for that park cleanup. I'm trying to get a couple more beer collabs going, but other than that, in Kettering, we're gonna have a Meet the Artist Day where Amy Anderson's gonna be out on a Saturday, and people are gonna get to meet her. And the very first and last week of every month, I make sure I get that vendor market going, and that's probably one of the best times you can have in the area, coming out the Kettering from 1 to 4 those days.
Now, where exactly is this vendor market? What? Because it sounds like a great time from what you described.
It's at the brewer. It's at nowhere in particular on Wilmington Pike, 4716 Wilmington Pike, Kettering, Ohio. Fat and Rich is outside serving food. I usually get like Billy Gold bubble tea or maybe like Wild Banana smoothie truck to come out. And then inside we get about 7 different vendors selling all locally made goods. We've had blown glass. There's always like someone selling macrame. There's resin art. I've had bakers come in. There's been a lady bringing in like a Chex Mix bag kind of deal that she makes. Hot sauces, basically anything you can sell under Ohio cottage law food wise, and like then handmade crafts. So get to spotlight those people, and they give the spotlight right back to us as well.
I've never had bubble tea. I have no idea what it is.
I just had it some last night at SEMA, and I would recommend either trying Nicole's on Billy Gold bubble tea or stopping out at SEMA and getting some. It's sugary goodness.
Like, how sugary are we talking? Are we talking like sugary goodness? Are we talking about, that one commercial for the guy that has diabetes? Are we talking that sugary goodness? There's a spectrum, Are we talking?
I don't think we're going Wilford Brimley here. I think on the sugar level you'll probably only have one because there's some milkiness to it. They'll fill you up. And then the boba is like tapioca balls. Absolutely amazing.
What the hell is that? I've never heard of it. I swear to God, I've never heard of it.
I mean, we can leave here today and go and find out. It's really hard to explain the Chewies, but the Chewies are perfect. It's like when you let Starburst sit in your mouth for so long and they get that chewy.
So is it like a tea mixed with a smoothie? Is it like a diet smoothie where it's not quite a smoothie, but it's still a liquid? Or
It's like a nice balance of milk and tea with tapioca balls in it.
what a time to be alive.
It is. It's fantastic.
What a time to be alive.
But yeah, man, we're doing some beer. Getting back to the beer stuff, gotta focus on that. We're doing some beer stuff out there in Kettering. We've been releasing a bunch of limited beers on smaller batches, and surprisingly, we just tossed a beer into some barrels to barrel age it for either the end of the year or next year, our birthday party. And there's gonna be a bunch of other nice little sours and good stuff in Kettering to come out and drink.
Hear me out. Late night lager. It's going to be a hit.
Late
somewhere.
night. We see right now we're selling Pat's Blue Ribbon, PBR.
I could never get close to that. I didn't like the aftertaste of it. I hate it.
Our brewer's name is Pat. It's not that. It's not Pabst.
Oh. Well, you learn something new every day. And he's just treading that line,
That's things I enjoy. Walking that
That
tightrope.
very tight rope. Oh, like we do on the show. But that's a story for another time.
Should have saved the LSD story for another time.
Well, I think you had the folks hooked on acid trips, so at this point, everyone's watching their flat screens intently.
Yeah.
Because that's one hell of a story. I get to hear it, you don't. obviously after this interview, so cry about it. So hear me out. You release a book of your creative writing one day.
Oh, man.
Honest to God, I would be interested in that.
Oh, man. Yeah, I could probably do that. There's going to be some weird teenage stuff in there, though, too. Maybe I'll do it as a progression.
Aren't we weird teenagers? We're just overgrown.
Yeah.
With anxiety, stress, and bills.
Yeah.
That's all we are.
Man, you really broke down life. Now we're getting existential. Oh, now I'm thinking. Yeah, the bills and stuff. Yeah, I guess I still have those terrible teenage writing still. I guess there's 40-year-olds who write movies like Project X still, yeah. Hopefully not.
Hopefully not, but hey, it's America. Anything's possible.
Anything's possible. I hope I get something more that captivates. I'll hit you up. We'll go to a open mic night at Barrel House, and I'll perform. You can see what I have.
That would be awesome.
I don't know if I want to say any of this stuff on here.
I guess you guys are just going to have to go to Barrel House to find out. Because we would like to do this show for 8 more years.
Yeah, I'm trying to let you do the show for 8 more years, too.
And then we'll see how I feel. Honestly, my last episode, I don't care. I don't care. We're going out with a bang. But tell us where we can find you. You're always on the go, so that's a very broad question. So, in particular, where can we find Nowhere in particular?
I'm mainly in the Northern Hemisphere.
Well, it's a start.
You can find me Wednesday nights in Kettering serving up some beers. I'm also there Saturday afternoon from 1 to 5. And then you might catch me out in Gahanna representing Art State. You might catch me over there on 1122 East Dorothy Lane with Chicken Heads and the Cookieologists.
I've had him on my show too. Very nice guy.
Yeah. But mainly, I've been doing a lot of stuff over there in Kettering at Nowhere in particular. We've got a nice little fun vibe. Catch us out. Mondays we have karaoke. Tuesdays trivia night. And then Wednesday's Survivor night. Come see Jeff Probst.
You heard the man. I know you're not doing anything.
Come get some tequila on Saturdays from me.
And you had me sold. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, Austin from Nowhere in particular, thank you so much.
Thank you, Dion. You have a lovely evening.
When we come back, we are going to do awesome stuff. He's probably going to do something weird after we go to commercial break. So you guys just sit tight. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Katie Carey, and I'm the Director of Education and Outreach for Clothes at Work, located at the Job Center. Our mission for over 20 years has been to clothe, educate, and empower individuals to prepare them for employment success. Clothes at Work is well known in the Dayton region for providing interview and workplace appropriate attire for local job seekers. Savvy shoppers know us for our fabulous boutique, featuring gently used upscale clothing at great prices. The best part about our boutique is that every dollar spent goes directly back into our programs and services. However, one thing you may not know about Clothes at Work is that we have an amazing workforce development education program. The Workplace Institute was launched in February 2017 when area employers expressed difficulty finding job applicants with necessary job readiness behaviors and soft skills to be successful on the job. A team of professionals from our community representing every industry came together with us and combined their experience in workforce development and education to help us create our research-based curriculum. Each workshop is skillfully designed to engage participants in group discussions, peer-to-peer learning, and fun hands-on activities to help build confidence and professional demeanor. Workshop topics include making a positive first impression, proper professional attire, effective communication techniques, on-the-job conflict resolution skills, and how to build professional relationships. Through our education program, we have provided more than 150 workshops to over 1,500 individuals in just 2.5 years, and our numbers continue to grow. It's no surprise that developing a healthy workforce needs to start at an early age for the health of our local economy. Out of this need, our workshops have been invited into high school classrooms all across the Miami Valley. In fact, 75% of our workshop participants are high school students, and we have presented workshops to students from over 33 area high schools. Close at Work is excited to present workshops this fall with area college programs including Sinclair College and in partnership with Fifth Third Bank at Central State University. For more information about our workforce development education program or any of our programs and services, please visit our website at www.closethatwork.org.
Sitting here at my desk is the amazing ShyFye Tha Don. ShyFye Tha Don is by far one of the most articulate people I've met so far in the music industry. I don't think there's anything she can't do. Welcome to the show. I'm very glad to have you here.
Hi, I'm glad to be here.
So tell us a little bit about yourself. Have you always been a music kid, or is this something recent? Is this always something you wanted to do?
Yeah, I've always been a music kid. I think by the age of 8, I started listening to Tupac, actually, because my mom used to play his music all the time. And I just was like, the first song I heard was like Brenda Got a Baby. And I just kept rapping stuff like his songs like that, remembering the lyrics, and then music has stuck with me ever since. And my favorite artists were Bow Wow, 50 Cent, and I would just rap their music all the time. So I think music is in me because I do other music as well, play instruments and stuff like that. So as I got older, I just started to write more songs and then started to take it more serious. So yeah.
And how long have you been doing this?
I started actually recording songs in 2017. My old friend, his name is Scott. He owns Hierarchy Music, and he opened up a studio. And I said, "This is my chance here," and I started recording, and just progressed throughout the years. Yeah.
Now, do you have a specific person that you idolize, in regards to women, right? Lil' Kim, Remy Ma, Mary J. Blige, stuff like that?
Actually, Nicki Minaj.
Really?
When I heard her in 2010, her mixtape, and I'm like, oh yeah, she's fire. And I've been following Nicki ever since. I'm a big fan of Nicki. So yeah, that's what I really like.
That's what you're working towards.
Yeah,
meet her in person.
yeah, it's pretty much Nicki.
So with you being such a multifaceted individual and you do so many things, you're not just a one-trick pony, which is amazing. Mm-hmm. In regards to instruments, what instruments do you play? Do you have a favorite?
Drums. I can play the piano. I can do all types of things, but I got into drums. First it was the drum set, then I got into the marching band, and that's really my thing. And I can play all instruments, the snare, the tenor, the bass, all that. So I can pretty much do anything as far as when it comes to my talents. I can also do poetry. So poetry and music, it just kind of all intertwines together. I can do art too. So, yeah.
Now, if I may, being as a young woman of color,
Mm-hmm.
has it been a specific struggle for you trying to come up the ranks, get your footing in the said market, especially with drumline, stuff like that? That's predominantly, from what I've seen, you would know more than I would be a male-dominated field. So what is that like, being a female, being interested in these things? Has it been different for you, or have you felt impartial? Has it been a struggle? Or
No, honestly, I don't feel no different when it comes to being any male industry, because rapping was a male thing, majority back then. Marching band is predominantly males because most girls go to dancing. But I don't feel any different. I just think it's a challenge for me to prove myself. It's like I can do anything I set my mind to, but I don't think nothing of it because I'm also into computers. That's a male industry thing too. So I'll kind of gravitate towards stuff like that. And I mean, I work hard and I definitely accomplished everything I needed to accomplish. So I don't beat myself up. I just read, research, pick up different skills, and just prove myself that I can do it. So it's not a challenge for me at all. I don't know why I think like that, but it's not.
I guess you're just built different.
Yeah.
So, in regards to your career so far, and what was the first like song you actually like wrote and performed, and what was that experience like for you?
It was off of my first album. It's called Destined. The first song I wrote was called What's That, What's That? And what's crazy is I was trying to find my sound, or a sound, period, because I was just starting. The only 3 artists that I was listening to at that time was Nicki Minaj, Kendrick Lamar, and Eminem. They all have like different personalities when it comes to like rapping. Like it's not just one sound. Like Nicki had Roman, and then Eminem has Slim Shady, and Kendrick, I mean, he's still Kendrick, but he's versatile. All those rappers were versatile. So when I started writing What's That, I tried to like change my voice a little bit to have that little kind of like gimmick sound, but not really change myself when it came to that. But that was the first song I wrote off my album. And performing-wise, I think it was Money Money off my first album as well as Destined. Money Money, No Games, which is an R&B song, and How Could You, which is an R&B song. So yeah.
So now, where do you get the inspirations for your songs? Do you get it from life experiences? Do you get it from heartbreak? You know, there's a lot of different inspirations out there for songs. So I tried to figure like what's your creative genesis when it comes to how do you put words to paper and make words to paper into music?
With the R&B songs is definitely from experience of heartbreak, being in my feelings, having like loving someone and can't tell them how you really feel sometimes. So I write that in R&B songs. Now when it comes to my other songs, they're more so like club songs. And to be honest, I hear a beat, I listen to the melody, and then off the top of my head, I just come up with a hook. Whether it be about bragging, like most rappers do, about money, or having the flyest car, or whatever situation may be, it just comes off the top of my head. But to me, to be in that creative space, I would have to listen to like certain artists, like Young Dolph or Meek Mills, or Future, or Young M.A. Because all those rappers are like motivational type bragging rappers. So, and I know my personality like fits somewhere in there. So I come up with two songs off the top of my head, pretty much.
So are you more of an organized chaos kind of person? Is there a certain ritual you follow in regards to songwriting? Like, is there a specific process, or do you just go with it?
It is a process for me. I'd rather not have a lot of stuff on my mind when I'm writing a song. I want to clear space in my head, calm, so when I'm creative, I'm not having any type of blockage. I don't want to have any type of space in my brain where it's like I'm forcing to write this song. I want it to just naturally flow. I want to hear a beat and just sit there and be like, oh yeah, here's the lyrics to that, or something like that. I hate when I have to force a song, and then my lyrics don't sound right, and then I have to scratch a lyric because I feel like I forced it to come out because I needed a song that day where I can just sit, relax, meditate, and then come back to it where it just naturally flows.
So, in the best aspect, this is a labor of love for you, and you're telling your story.
Yeah.
I think that's amazing. I really do.
Yeah,
I really
thanks.
do. So, where do you see yourself in 2 years, 5 years, 10 years? Are we looking to see your name on a marquee somewhere at Dolby Theater? Are we looking to see you at the Grammys? Or what do you see yourself in 10 years?
In 10 years, I do want to have my own record company, to be honest. I think I have a niche for talented people in music, because I write good songs too. I can write songs for people. So my plan in the future is to help other artists come up in the future and build like a brand off of that. It's just in me to find like other people that love music and just find them and help them with music. Do I want to be like Nicki Minaj, the queen of rap? I never really thought of it like that. I just love music. So I would still do songs in the future, but the thing is to be a household name. But I want to own a record company in the future.
I think you can do it.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. So, with your time being in the entertainment industry and doing what you do, to an outsider, explain what your life is like.
My life? I travel a lot. I'm in the studio all the time, write music, thinking about music, busting out just with song lyrics all the time. I'm a pretty laid back person, but I'm a hard worker. Like, I've always wanted to lead by example by doing everything that I love, which is music and technology. I'm into both. So in the near future, I just definitely want to work on both and just build companies when it comes to the record label and technology. Both of those I feel like should intertwine for me in the future. But other than that, I pretty much stay to myself and just write music. I'm working on new music. Got a single coming out in the near future, and I have a catalog of other music that I want to promote or whatever. As far as my second album, The Don, and my EP, Royalty, and I have so many videos on YouTube that I need to definitely add more videos to promote. So yeah.
So, what would be, if you could give one greatest piece of advice that you wish you knew when you started, what would that be to anyone wanting to aspire to be like you or stray off into their own genre and chase that passion of music? What is the biggest piece of advice you would give them?
That's a good question. I would say never stop grinding for something you love to do. With music, I do know it takes time. And then today, you have to have this social media to create a big following. Definitely be yourself. Never stop creating music. Always drop something. Be a hard worker. And just be patient. Nothing happens overnight, not for everyone. So be patient, because in the end, you'll see all that hard work come up in the end, and you do what you love to do will eventually work out for you. So yeah.
So before we came back from commercial, we were talking a lot about, what are your upcoming projects in regards to albums? Because I know you have a few. So if you could, because I always like to look in the new artist and give them a listen, and A, for publicity, B, I'm just curious. So what is your latest projects?
So my latest project is my EP, Royalty. I dropped that back in November, if I'm not mistaken. It's just 5 songs. Basically, all these projects that I have, especially Royalty, is to explain who the Don is, ShyFye Tha Don is, which is me telling, in my songs that I'm a boss, but I'm a woman who has her own individual personality. I don't think like everybody else. I don't move like everybody else. I'm really pretty much in my own lane, and my music shows that too. I don't sound like a lot of other people in the industry. I really have my own distinct sound when it comes to my songs. And Royalty is definitely the growth throughout my years. I sound different. I sound a lot more confident. I've always been confident, but I sound a lot more confident. My second album that I dropped back in 2020 is actually called The Don. And that album really means a determined, originated, noble woman. So on that album, I have 8 songs where I explain my feelings. I have a song called Feelings on there. A lot of upbeat tempo songs, it pretty much explaining who the Don is as well. Somebody that I can just hold my own. I'm bragging on these songs as well, because I definitely put in a lot of hard work as far as my careers for music and technology. So I explain that on my songs, and pretty much it's an evolution through each album, to be honest. And you can see that in my videos as well, from the first one that I did to the last one that I did. I'm really more confident. You get to see me. I'm like a mixture of a tomboyish girly girl, and I'm just being me pretty much. And I don't care nobody what they think about me. I'm gonna still do me. And yeah.
So in regards to that, I know you're a busy woman, period, and you have quite the repertoire of songs already, and your songs tell a story. So, what are you looking towards? Like with every album, this is telling another chapter of your life, or is it kind of like a story with words in a way?
Well, I wouldn't say a story with words because none of my songs are conscious. But they're not conscious, but they're not like they're just up tempo, and I'm not telling a story, but I am explaining who I am. Like pretty much, like I'm living my best life. I'm working on growing as a person, and growing with other people around me, and just trying to figure things out. But I wouldn't say it's a story. Now, my next album that I want to work on actually will be an album that tells a story. I feel like I come off to a mystery to some people. And this next album, I do want to show people who the Don ShyFye is, because I feel like they already kind of got the aspect of who the Don is from my second album and my third album. But who ShyFye is. I want to be more open and like have more feelings on my songs, and just explain like other stuff that happened in my life that could probably help somebody else. So not too much of the turnt songs, even though it's okay to have good club songs, because I feel like that's what generates the streams and stuff. But I just want to be in a stage of my life where people figure out who I am through my music. So, yeah.
So where can we find you in regards to social media?
So my social media is on Instagram. You can find me _ShyFye, and it's ShyFye. And then also all my music is on all platforms: Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music, Tidal, I'm on Tidal, and also on YouTube. And then on YouTube, of course, you can pull me up, just type in ShyFye Tha Don. And I have an upcoming show June 3rd at Yellow Cab. I think it's the Pride weekend. So yeah, I got a performance that day. And I think a few other people that be there is Samurai West and Candy Cody and other few artists. But yeah, that's June 3rd.
Well, I thank you for being here today. You have an amazing story, and I wish you the absolute best.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. As you heard the lady, you can find her June 3rd at Yellow Cab, performing Candy Cody Dreams, Lavender Honey, and Samurai West. You can find her music on YouTube Music, SoundCloud, Apple Music, and just about any other platform where you can find music at, you will find her. Ladies and gentlemen, ShyFye Tha Don. When we come back, I'm going to figure out exactly just what I'm doing here, and we're going to have another great interview. So y'all go ahead and order you something to eat, and we'll be right here. Welcome back from the commercial break, ladies and gentlemen. So nice of you to come back and join us. You do have some loyalty in you. Here at the desk is entrepreneur Josh Weston. Thank you for coming on. We appreciate having you here.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
So just tell me a little bit about you and what's your flavor of life? What's the backstory?
Well, I'm from Springfield, Ohio. Went to South High School, and I grew up singing in the arts. Basically, a child performer back in the 90s when choirs were really popular, dancing choirs and everything. So music is like my first love. And worked in television in Los Angeles, and came back and finished, doing some rounds here in Dayton, Ohio. And I've pretty much been planted here in Dayton, and finishing at Wright State and just doing things that, help the community in Springfield, and just really doing what I can to inspire people. And at this moment, I'm working on a clothing line and a documentary about Springfield. So as an artist, I'm just like,
You're just all over the place.
when people say all over the place, to them it looks all over the place, but I mean, when a spider's making the spider web, it's all connected.
You just got to trust the process.
You just trust the process. Life is too short to be, second guessing yourself. So it's like, when it's there, take the opportunity to do it. And if you fail, oh well.
You learn something either way.
Yeah, it's true. I've never been afraid to fail. And it's like, you have to work pretty hard to embarrass me. So it's like, yeah, let's just see what happens. And if it's successful, then it worked. People are always like, maybe you should wait, maybe you should try this and try that. But it's like, hey, just pick up the crayon and start coloring the picture, man. Like,
Whatever happens, yeah.
And that's what I enjoy the most about being an entrepreneur is that, I get to create the job and workspace that I, would like to be in. And I think people are afraid of that because they're afraid to struggle or afraid to fall. But I'm a brave person, and it makes all the difference in the world when you're happy about whatever it is that you're doing, even if it's a lot of things. If you're happy about doing a lot, then
Knock yourself out.
Then knock yourself out with the whole bag.
So about the documentary about Springfield,
Sure.
what kind of aspect? Are you going for in regards to that? Are we going like deep into Springfield's history, or what?
I'm going to tell it from my perspective, just really short. Basically, I used to be a shy child or whatever, and when we moved to Springfield from Michigan when I was 11, my mom's godparents had started a choir along with a man named Paul Tolliver. It's a community choir called Unity for Christ. And in that choir was John Legend. And as a kid, he had inspired me so much that I shed the whole I'm afraid to sing in front of people thing. And he graduated early and left for college, and I pretty much stepped right into his spot locally. If people find out you can sing really good or whatever, then they're like, hey, we're opening an envelope at the post office. Can you come sing? And it's like every little thing, from that moment on was like, in high demand and just running around. And so I want to tell, that story of how I came from Michigan, going through metal detectors and all that stuff, to Springfield, which was literally like Mayberry at the time, but it was a close-knit community, Black excellence, and just really people who cared what we looked like, what we sounded like, and where we were going in life, and that we were, good citizens and making a difference in our community. And now Springfield's been probably declared one of the saddest places in our country, and that's not the Springfield that I know. That's not the Springfield that helped me become the person who I am today, this brave person who takes risks, takes chances, tries to make a difference. And I want to use this documentary to show all the long list of people who have come out of Springfield who have made a difference. From Sesame Street, Elania Reed, she was one of the original cast members on Sesame Street. We have Grammy winners beyond John Legend, and the documentary is called In the Shadow of Legends, because if you're from Springfield, you have some big shoes to fill, and it's not the saddest place in the country. It's just displaced creativity with nothing to pour it into, and now, that turns into regret and anger and all that stuff. So I want to use the things that I learned from the Springfield that I remember to empower the future Springfield.
I like that. I like that concept. I really do.
Thank you.
A lot of people, when it comes to towns that make that list, no one wants to dig in beyond the surface. Everyone just, well, they said it is, so it is.
Right.
And the town could be a completely different story than what it's portrayed to be, which
Absolutely.
would upset someone who grew up in Springfield. Like you, I feel the same way about here. Like, this is my home. Like, you're not about to talk about home.
Gem City, and then Springfield's the city of champions.
Like, I love home. Home is home. But you mind your business about home. But home is home. Home makes me mad sometimes, but home is home.
Home is home. Don't talk about home.
Oh, yeah, you mind your business about home. I don't talk about your house. You stay out of mine.
For sure.
Now, in regards to Michigan, where are you from? Are you from Detroit or Ann Arbor?
I was born in Saginaw, Michigan, at Saginaw General Hospital, the same hospital as Stevie Wonder and Venus and Serena Williams. So yeah, I think I just started off just in the
Around champions.
Yeah,
you know?
around
And
just
now here you are.
really risk takers and people who are on their way to the top. And it's like you can't be afraid to be like, that's where I'm going, you know. And I tell people all the time, like, don't dull your shine. You know, I came from Michigan because my mother wanted to move us to a better place. Like I said, I was in the 6th grade. And we had metal detectors, you know, and they found a couple of guns or whatever, and it was in the 90s, 96, I think.
It was rough in the
It
90s.
was.
America was rough in the 90s.
Yeah, it was a lot of gangs, not as extensive as it is now, and people were trying to, you know, be extra hard and everything. And so my mom really just wanted to get us out of that environment, me and my sister. And so we moved to Springfield, Ohio, which, you know, it was like, whoa, we just went from the city to the farm. And it's like, wow, there's grass cow and
You know, Farmer John and his 3
and
pigs.
dandelions and people. But as I said, it was a close-knit community. And it really molded and shaped the way that I move around in the world. For it to be such a small place, it has so much impact that, you know, we don't know, which I'm going to talk about in my documentary. And because the list just rolls right out the door of the amount of people who have come from this small town who are champions, from City of Champions. And Springfield was going to be the capital at one point, but they went about 45 minutes up the street and did Columbus instead. So, you know, so it has a rich history, and I just really want to get people back in the mind frame of, if you come from Springfield, you've come from a place of champions.
I 100% agree.
Yeah.
Because they put both of our towns in like that same subgenre category that I don't really care for.
And the music here in Dayton, it's like the music history is
like, honest to God, we
extensive.
gave the world funk music. What you're not going to do is talk about home. The Wright brothers created Flight, but what we're not going to do is talk about home. Paul Lawrence Dunbar. We got Paul Lawrence Dunbar, but what you're not about to do is talk about home.
Right. We made it fly, right?
Like, we're the city of innovators, and it's always going to be that way, whether you agree with it or not.
Right. Right next to each other, you know, innovation and just really lots and lots of creativity. Because, I mean, living in places like this, I mean, Yellow Springs right next door, there's Dave Chappelle, you know.
Right.
Springfield, there's John Legend, Dayton. The funk music history is just like,
It's insane. Like,
it is insane.
I'm learning something new about it every day, and I've lived here my whole life.
Yeah, and it has to be passed on and told by people who care about it and who are passionate, because that's the only way, you know, these stories live, the legacy lives, because as we know, the narrative changes in this country all the time, where it's like, did that happen? Did that really happen? And now it's like, you know, with the evolution of technology, it's like you can go back and see and get proof and receipts and all that stuff. And, you know, so it's like, you know, give the credit where the credit is due. And like I said, that's how I live my life, and we just gonna bust through this thing and walk on in.
There you go. Whether the doors are open or not, we're coming in.
We're coming in.
We're coming
there's
in.
There's a window. There's a something.
We're coming in the room. That's the way it is.
Yeah. We're coming through all day, every day.
All day. Period. Send it.
Hit send.
Hit send. So tell me about your clothing line. Tell me about that.
One of 1,000 things that I'm doing, but
so this is thing number 998.
And 98 and 99 coming out tomorrow. It's called Lungster. I've always wanted to do a men's clothing line, and so I figured, why not start with athleisure, gym wear. So I basically was working at H&M, and H&M is a fantastic company, and it's really an artist-based, creative industry, and they really like give you a lot of information about, like, if you want to start your own business or you know, go off on your own path, they encourage that. And so while I was there, one of my friends who's a bodybuilder, he came in and his arms were so big he couldn't like fit any. We were go hours taking off tops, pulling them off, put this whole thing, and I'm thinking, where is the stuff that you could just throw on and be cool, you know, not
go
have
about
this
your day.
problem. Yeah, and go about your day, because they have many options for women where if you can't fit this, and we'll have the same print and the stretchy and then this and the other, and it's like
We got something for
you
it.
can dress every woman in the same outfit in different styles or whatever. It's not that flexible for men, and so I feel like we're moving into an era where things are getting more and more bendable for men, and it's not so staunch and just literally
One
like
size fits
one
all.
size fits all, like big and tall. And it's like these guys don't have like bellies, but they have like big upper, you know, bodies and shoulders, traps and all that.
Or
So
they're
it's-
tall and slender. You know?
and yeah, and so it has to work for that demographic. And so I just wanted to go. And plus, I was on my own weight loss journey. I lost like 60 pounds. And so it was like, what am I going to wear to the gym? So it's like, I also wanted to put out something that I would be able to wear and that I would like, and hopefully other people would like it and enjoy it. And so far, it's going pretty good.
Good. Now, in regards to where can we find this stuff? Like, where can we keep up with you? Because you're a
Sure.
fast-paced man.
Yeah.
And America wants to know.
You can follow me on Instagram at gosh__Josh. You can find my clothing line at lunkster.com, LUNKSTER. He's not a hipster, but he's a lunkster, so it means he just goes to the gym. If the hipster put on about 25 pounds of muscle, then he's a lunkster, you know. So lunkster.com, and then you can just find me on Facebook at Josh Weston, and that's all my socials. So, yeah.
The fast-paced man has limits.
I mean, right. Yeah, I have to delete it. I've maxed out on friends on Facebook, so if you add me, then I'll kick somebody off and stick you on, stick
Yeah, I
you on
gotta
the
go.
list.
Yeah.
Make the list.
Well, thank you so much for being here. I
Thank you
appreciate
so
it.
much for having me. I appreciate it.
I would like to thank my guest tonight, of course, entrepreneur Josh Weston, ShyFye Tha Don, and Austin from Nowhere in Particular Brewery. I'm Dion McElrath. Thank you. We'll see you next time. Good night, everybody.